Welcome back to the Chasing Tone Podcast. I am Brian Wampler, back again today with Blake from the Tone Mob. Today we talk about the new Bravado amp and the speaker choice I ended up going with. We also talk about hearing protection, a new type of hearing plugs, hearing devices that will block out sound in a very flat frequency, perfect if you're playing in a band. We talk about a bunch of other stuff too. Let's jump right into that.
Hello. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Can you hear me, Brian? How's that? Oh, okay. Something's going on with my... I can hear now.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I totally can. Just a second. Something's going on with my headphones. Let me...
Does it sound like someone's playing guitar?
It sure does. It sounds just like exactly like that. Like a very skilled musician is playing his instrument.
And that is indeed what I was doing. But I'm not skilled, so that was just me.
Oh, okay.
Let me walk over to my permanent microphone. There. The podcast audience is like, Brian sounds so much better on this mic.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be back.
It is, isn't it?
It feels great.
Sure, it does. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It does.
I mean, you know, you're there and I'm here, but that's all right.
One of these days, we need to do one in person.
We should.
I don't know how we're going to do that, but we should.
Well, most people do it by flying to Indiana.
I thought most people did it by flying to Portland.
No, only the cool kids do that.
Come on, you can fly to Portland because we have more than just a Chili's. In fact, that's the one thing we don't have, is a Chili's.
That's because you guys are much cooler than us Indianians. Or
it's the only...
at least Martinsvillians, I should say. There's some good towns in Indiana.
I miss Chili's. It sounds weird because I'm like kind of a foodie, but I truly did enjoy myself a Chili's trip once in a while. I do. But, you know, that's okay.
Chili's,
I'll stick with my...
You know their slogan, finger licking good.
That's true. That's wait. I thought it was ba-da-ba-ba-ba. No.
I have no idea.
What is this, a fast food?
I've been stuck in this room for about a week testing speakers.
Tell me all about the speaker testing. Why are you testing speakers?
Well, I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you're in the know because, you know, you're Blake of the Tone
No,
Mob.
I don't know a thing about what's going on in this industry.
So we're coming out. Well, we released it to our our hardcore fan audience, I guess. You know, the general public that likes to go to our site and buy stuff, I guess, which is, you know, a couple here and there. It's not like the gigantic swarm of people that buy off the site. But anyways, so we released an amp right around, it was Black Friday actually. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I would call it a soft release. So no PR, no press releases, a couple demos, you know, just nothing, not a huge release. But I wanted to get it out there for the Black Friday crowd, for, you know, our fans that want, because we've been asked quite a bit to put out an amp. So I wanted to at least get it, get it out there for, you know, the people that wanted it for, you know, from St. Nick. You know,
of course.
So we put it out there, but we're actually like doing a hard release, which I would call that. You know, that's the full press releases, all the reviews, the in stores, all that kind of stuff at NAMM. So as a result, like I had to get things finalized. I didn't have like my final speakers that I wanted in the combo and the 112 and the 212 and all that stuff. So I mean, I had some ideas, but I was. I have so many speakers. It looks like I have a speaker factory. It's ridiculous.
How many speakers would you estimate are in your barn right now? Rough guess.
I'm multiplying here by rows. 35 to 40.
Gee whiz. That's a lot of speakers. That's more speakers than I have in my entire house on any system, or even including headphones.
I'm kind of a speaker buff. I don't know if you know this, but I like my speakers. I think it's a very key part of the amplifier. And I was talking to somebody else recently, just another guy in the industry, and he was saying, "Oh man, speakers aren't that big of a deal. Just put something cool in there and it'll be fine." I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like I obsess over every aspect of tone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm not that good at a lot of things. Actually, I suck at most things. But there's like this 1% of things that I'm pretty damn good at, and or at least I like to think so. And not to be like egotistical, but like, like really, there's like just a few things I'm able to do, and one of those is obsess over tones and hear crazy frequencies, which is funny because I actually got my ears tested I don't know, a month or two ago, because I was actually having some problems for a week or so, and so I went and got them tested. It ended up just being like one of my passages had a little was a little inflamed. But anyways, that's not the good part of the story. The good part of the story is they tested my hearing, and they're like, "Holy cow, you hear like better than anybody! Like your mid-range frequencies are off the charts." And I was like,
"Well, that might tell you something."
Yeah. So apparently, I can hear extremely high frequencies, and it's just like I have deer hearing, deer like the antelope hearing.
This is an interesting note, actually. It really is, and I'll tell you why it's interesting. I know you and I both keep tooting this horn over and over again, but my buddy Leon from Pelican, he was over at my house one time helping me install some garage doors. I promise this is relatable. This relates to what we're talking about.
What kind of garage doors was it? Was it the Craftsman 45-34s? The 45-34s are much better than 45-35s.
No, I ended up downgrading a little bit. I didn't want them windows. I don't want nobody peeking in and seeing all of my junk. So, we were installing some garage doors, and the garage is also the laundry room.
I bet that makes it really hard to park in the laundry room.
No, it's super easy. In fact, there's a car parked in the laundry room at all times. It's great.
Is there really?
Yes.
Oh wait, you mean your laundry room is in your garage, not your your garage? Okay, that's totally different. You said your garage was in your laundry room, and I'm thinking, man, my laundry room's about 5 by 6.
The garage is the laundry room. It's one and the same.
Okay, so your laundry area is in your garage. Okay,
correct.
Makes much more sense.
Everyone needs to get these details exactly straight for this to make sense.
It's just we're setting up this long story. There better be some payoff.
It's not worth it at this point. It's completely not worth it. But anyway, he's helping me install some garage doors, and all of a sudden he's looking at me with this funny face. He's like, what is that sound? I'm like, what sound? What are you talking about? He's like, that sound, that super high-pitched sound. I'm like, I don't hear nothing. And then we went totally silent for a little bit and detected that it was coming from the dryer. Like as it was running, it was making this something was off, and it was making this super high-pitched squeal that I could just barely notice. And it was like nails on a chalkboard to him. So the point of the story is he makes good sounding pedals, and he's also does good mixes and stuff. So I wonder if there's a correlation between building good sounding pedals and having great ears.
Could be. I know. Actually, I read a study here recently that said that musicians, like statistically, have much better hearing than the average person. Now, that doesn't explain whether we're born that way and therefore we become musicians, or whether since we are musicians we practice those ear muscles or whatever. I'm no statistician or physician, but I don't know if there are physicist. But I don't know if there are ear muscles or not. But I don't know. Maybe your brain like rewires connections and you get Superman hearing or something. I don't know. But yeah, apparently, statistically, musicians have much, much better hearing than the average person.
Until they reach about 50, and all the frequencies just have been taxing their ears for so long.
Until they get married, and then like they lose the frequencies of the wife's voice when specifically when it's like take the trash out or do the dishes.
Yeah, I never like.
I can't hear that frequency at all. I'm sorry.
No, it totally just goes right past me. I can't hear it. I can't hear anything in that frequency range. It's weird.
But I can tell you if if I'm playing an amp or a pedal or whatever, I'm like, ooh, there's just way too much 7.3 kHz there. Oh,
Anyway,
a kind of funny story along that line. I mean, we'll get into the subject matter in a minute, but this may be the subject matter. I don't know. So I was playing a gig, New Year's. Was it New Year's? It was New Year's. I was playing a gig, and I don't know if I told you this already. Did I tell you about this gig? So, the PA's feeding back. We're having all kinds of problems, and it starts ringing, and I'm like, holy cow, you've got to turn down 450 hertz, man, on the EQ. You've got to. It's killing me. They're like, what? I'm like, the feedback? That's 450 hertz. Go over to the mixer, nudge it down, like, how did you know that? And I'm like, I'm only good at a few things. That's one of them.
Well, you picked a really good profession to go into for your very particular set of skills.
That's the thing. If it wasn't for this, I probably would be like, sweeping, county roads or something with a broom. I don't know what else I would do. Picking up cans on the side of the road. I don't know. I don't have any of the skills.
I have a very particular set of skills. You're like the Liam Neeson of pedals.
Kind of so, except more handsome,
Oh, definitely. Way more handsome. And successful.
I don't know about that. I mean, I build pedals here, not rockets, Meaning,
I've never been there. For all I know, you could be building rockets. I wouldn't know.
Maybe I'll build pedals with rockets in them. You never know.
Please do that.
There's always a chance.
Happy 4th of July. Here comes a 150 whatever BB enclosure.
Why is there a fuse in it? You'll find out soon enough. That's how you start it.
Ultimate bypass.
The ultimate bypass. The truly true bypass.
Or it's almost like the final bypass.
There you go.
Anyway.
So we're talking about speakers.
We're not doing very good on this episode. Oh, wow. Speakers.
Okay, so I've got a gigantic amount of speakers around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through, all the WGSs, the Jensens, the Eminences, like all these, the Celestians, all the different types of speakers that I have been able to accumulate. And I'll tell you what I came up with.
Tell me.
It is the Creamback. Which one is it? The G12 M65. Is that right?
I think so.
Yes, that is. It's a G12 M65, not the H75s. Now, not that they're bad, but just with the Bravado amp, this particular amp, the 65s, man, just had this magical quality to them that I can't, you play it and like angels start singing, And
very interesting.
It was, and it's not that the other speakers are bad. It's just, like I said, trying to pair this particular amp with like what I would call the perfect speaker. You know what I mean? And not that other speakers won't work. Of course they will. But I'm just a weird fanatic about stuff. Even when I get amps, I'm always like swapping speakers in and out, and just like I do pedals. Really, I've talked about how when I play gigs, I'm swapping pedals in and out all the time.
Right.
I kind of do the same thing with amps. I'm like, I'm tired of this speaker. Let's try a different one. So yeah, I mean, some of the other speakers I went through, of course, you got to go through the vintage 30s and the greenbacks and all the different copies or derivatives that other companies put out.
Right.
Good speakers, but it wasn't the sound that I was going for, The Creamback 75s, they had a little bit too much of a high-end sparkle, which is cool for some stuff. But when you're really trying to make a pedal platform, you don't want too much sparkle because then things get kind of fizzy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you also don't want it too dull either, because then you have no clarity. It's just all, it sounds like you have a, gigantic blanket in front of your amp. So you got to kind of balance that line of, you want clarity when you want it, but you want to be able to dial it down too. So yeah, man, I've spent days and days and days and days going through how many, I don't even know how many cabinets I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14 cabinets, I believe. And just swap it, A, B, and yeah, I'd narrow it down to like 10, and I'd narrow that down to 9, and then so on and so forth. And it was a massive undertaking. And then, but also you got to keep in mind that your ears adjust.
Yes.
So it's not like you can do this all in one day. Like, you got to do a little bit and then take a break for a bit and then come back to it with fresh ears. So yeah, I mean, when I say days and days, I'm talking days and days over the period of like 2 months, So, right. I mean, it's just been, it's really been kind of excruciating, because I just wanted to be absolutely perfect, Mm-hmm. And, we got it.
It's, that's interesting that a lot of people, I don't think, catch on to the fact that, your ears will tune into things, and I think that might be like why for so long, like when I first started playing, it was like, my crate amp sounded great. Like, it was amazing. Why do I need all this other stuff? This thing's the best. And then like the first time plugging into some really nice amplifiers, it was like, okay. But I think you do get used to, even, I know you're talking about it all in the same session, but I think you get used to your thing that you've kind of settled on rather quickly.
You do. And honestly, for me, as far as like testing things, there's literally about a 5 to 10 minute window where my ears just start, I won't say degrading, but they kind of do degrade a little. I mean, you do lose a little bit of spectrum in your hearing. Or maybe your brain, it's either that or your brain just starts tuning in on stuff, and it sounds a little different,
I think it's a brain thing, because you do a similar thing when you go nose blind. Like, if you're around something real smelly, like I don't know, have to go to the dump or something. When you first drive in, it's like, oh, it smells awful. Can't believe how bad it smells. But you spend 30 minutes there unloading your garbage, and pretty soon you don't even really notice it anymore.
That's a good point. I'm sure my wife can attest to that, where I'm a pretty smelly person to be around at first, but once you're around me a little bit, it's okay. You can live with it,
That's right. I mean, you gotta kind of take the good with the bad in that regard, but it's okay.
Right. And I'll let you know when I find the good. But yeah, so.
But I wonder if there's some science to suggest that, I know that I've heard of nose blindness before. Like, I read a thing that said you kind of lose sensitivity to a certain smell after about 10 minutes of exposure. Mm-hmm. Sounds about right for sound too, in some regards, as far as like hard R&D.
Is that like beer goggles?
It could be something like beer goggles.
I'm just throwing that out there. As a guy that's suffered from beer goggling, I don't know if that's a proper adjective or not, but we'll go with it. As a guy that's suffered from that in my youth, maybe it's the same thing.
Beer gargling or beer goggling?
Goggling. Beer gargling is a whole different. That would take going to the dentist to a whole new level. If he's like, "All right, sit back and let's pour a few here." Yeah. You got to get these teeth clean. You like stouts?
Now would you gargle? Okay, now spit. No way. Nope. I ain't spitting this out. No way.
Can't. Already swallowed it.
Too late. You better give me some more.
Let's try it again.
Yeah. Oh, we are done.
So we finally got the speaker picked out. I'm putting my NAMM boards together last minute. So what is it today? Wednesday, I think. What's the day's date? The 11th.
Yes.
As we record this. Mm-hmm. And so we fly out beginning of next week, which means I have a gigantic amount of work to do over the next couple of days, and then I'll probably be overnighting 2 humongous pedal boards to Los Angeles.
Wonderful.
Which
Wonderful.
I'm sure is going to be cheap. I'm sure it's so cheap, overnighting a 100-pound package times
It's
2.
so cheap, and you know what? No one else is doing it right now. So there will be probably plenty of space on the plane, and there's absolutely not going to be any issues.
Yeah,
I hope my confidence is inspiring to you.
I think I'm just going to ship it like UPS or something. I'm afraid I've seen how they throw stuff on the plane, and I can't take the chance of them saying, "Wow, this thing's heavy." Just roll it down, like topple it end over end until it reaches the ground.
That's the most effective means of transporting a large case, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, apparently, we fly a bit, and I've seen sometimes they take great care with stuff, and sometimes I've seen them like, I wonder how far I can throw this guitar,
What
And,
is it about? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, contrary to popular opinion, it is not a law that you have to put the guitar on the airplane. I've been that route, and it doesn't work. They can say, sorry, then don't fly.
What? Well, you could just do the Joe Bonamassa and just buy it a seat.
That you can. Yes, you can.
And I guess if I had a 59 Les Paul, I would buy it a seat.
Can you see me on a plane with like 2 gigantic, but we're talking like almost 4-foot pedal boards here. So two humongous pedal boards in 2 different seats, a guitar in another seat, an amp in another seat. Like what? What? I don't get it. These seats are reserved.
You're like, I want to keep my family safe. Who are you to tell me where they can sit? That's just I don't know, racist or something. Or
like,
gearist. It's gearist.
Do I get their drink tickets? Oh, goodness.
Man. Good times. So
yeah,
in all of this conversation, what we have come to the conclusion of through this whole chat is the fact that you settled on the Celestian Creamback for the Bravado.
The
That's
65.
what we got.
Yes.
The Creamback 65 is going with the Bravado. Nice. Very nice.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Question about the Bravado. I don't know.
Okay.
I
said okay.
Okay. Oh, I thought you that was an okay that was like, don't ask me that question. But I'm going to ask you anyway.
No, you can ask me whatever you want. I don't know if I can answer.
The Bravado, I know it's a combo. Is it a head also? Or did I miss that? What's going on?
You totally missed out. Okay, so it's a head.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 112 cabinet and a 212 cabinet.
That's what I'm picturing. Okay.
Then we also have a 112 combo.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
And it will be in stores.
And you probably already told me that.
So yes, that was the whole goal, is to get it inside of stores so people could actually go there and play it and not rely on YouTube,
Yeah. And amplifiers, I think we've talked about this before too. I feel like it's more important to plug into them almost than like a pedal, because it's usually a bigger investment.
It is. It's a totally bigger investment. And plus, it's so hard to really capture the sound of an amp moving air. We've talked about this before, whether, you're doing fractal stuff or whatever. Like you can kind of get the sound of the mic sound, but it's still always different than the sound of the amp in the room, moving air, bouncing off walls. I mean, like the way your ears are perceiving stuff, like, and really your body perceiving sound as well. Mm-hmm. Like all that stuff plays such a big factor into it that it's just, you really need to get your hands on an amp and play it to really determine whether, whether you want to shell out some cash for it. Unless, 2 caveats. Unless you have disposable income and you're like, I've got an extra 10 grand, I'll buy me a couple amps, Mm-hmm. But, or, if you're just like, I don't know, you really trust the YouTube reviewer that much, like, I'm going to buy it anyways, And there's, I have to say, I've done that. I've been there. I mean, I bought a Dr. Z off of eBay just because I'm like, everybody loves these things. I know I'm going to love it,
Right. Yeah, you never hear anybody trash talking a Dr. Z, ever.
Not generally, no. Unless they're like, it doesn't do the doom, though, I'm having trouble with my 8-string guitar and heavy distortion.
This Dr. Z Maz 18 is not djenting. I want it to
Exactly.
djent, and it just simply won't djent.
It is gentless. Yes.
Gentless. I like that. Hashtag gentless.
I am so going to start using that.
Oh,
I
I
crack
am
myself
too.
up sometimes.
Oh, we crack ourselves up every episode. Remember? With the fake laughter.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had any of those complaints for a while.
Oh, probably because we publicly address it. I don't know.
Could be. Or either that or people just stopped listening.
Well, that's probably more likely, actually. That makes a lot more sense.
Let me check. Views 3. Yep. We're good.
Okay, good. Well, all three of you, thanks for listening. It means the world to us.
So yeah. So anyways, yeah, getting ready for NAMM. Man, wiring these pedal boards up. I hate that being a last minute thing. I hate last minute things, and unfortunately, things tend to be last minute with me, which sucks so bad. But yeah, so I got to wire up, a bunch of different. So there's what I think there's gonna be four or five power supplies in all, maybe 6. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can do it with 2 on each board.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. What I'm using. I'm actually using pedal trains for this one. I was going to use Friedman actually has a pedal board.
Oh, really?
And,
I didn't know.
Yeah, or it's coming out with one or something. It might be coming out with one. But anyways, they sent me like a prototype, and I was like, I'm going to use this. But I have too many pedals. It wasn't big enough. So I think I put on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere. I'm like, does anybody have a 4-foot by 3-foot pedal board I can borrow?
Yeah, I seen that. And then I remember messaging you and being like, are you serious? Because I know some people that could get you one. Probably relatively quickly, especially if it's going to be at your NAMM booth. But you got it covered.
Yeah. Yep. Ended up going with the gigantic pedal train, the 42-inch wide one. And it's unfortunately, I'm going to have to put a couple pedals off to the side because it's not going to fit. But being that like I didn't, it's like I needed the pedal board today and I ordered it like yesterday. So, it's just, waiting to the last minute sort of thing. Had to do what you got to do. It was either that or just throw, like 30 pedals down on the floor and be like, here you go.
There you go. What you guys think?
Wires going everywhere and, yeah, so.
Speaking of NAMM and pedals and all this stuff, now you have an amp. It's a little bit different situation, but I've been thinking about testing pedals at NAMM, and I think I may have stumbled upon the solution to end all solutions. I don't know if I have, but it's a theory that I'm now. Guys use headphone amps and things like that, and they it sounds okay. You get an idea, but it's never quite optimal.
Right.
I've been wondering if you get something. There's probably other amps that have this functionality, but I'm obviously a Benson Amps fan. So if you get something like the Benson Amps Vinny, which is all tube and has the line out on it, so instrument level line out, run it into some sort of cab sim with headphones.
Like a 2 notes, which is what I'll be using at NAMM. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I would think that you'd get as close as possible to the real plugging in and playing it like you would at a guitar store at NAMM through headphones using something like that.
Pretty close. I mean, keep in mind there's still that thing about frequencies moving through the air and bouncing off stuff, and plus your body is absorbing the sound. The sound is resonating in your bones and transferring signals to your brain. Like all that stuff plays a factor into it. It's not just in the ears.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So
I just feel like that would be the ultimate NAMM setup for a pedal company. I don't know. Maybe it's. I know it's not. It's not perfect, but I feel like it's better than just say I don't know, just a regular solid state headphone amp.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, and you got to do what you got to do because it is NAMM. You can't go over. What's the decibel limit there? I think the decibel limit's like 80 or 85 or something like that, and they actually do measure it. There's actually people walking around who measure the sound And if you're too loud, you get like 3 warnings. If you get your 4th warning, they kick you out of NAMM. They're basically, all right, pack your stuff up, you're done. So, we call them the NAMM police. And
as much as we like kind of hate it, it really is kind of necessary, because if everyone was just cranked, like everyone would just die.
Right. And it's already loud. I mean, we've measured it in the aisles, like when no one's playing, just the ambient noise. And the ambient noise actually breaks the rules of the noise limit.
Yeah. It's like 95 or something, isn't it?
It's, ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, good earplugs are a necessity. In fact, what did I get here? Let me get this package. Ear erasers. Ear erasers? Yeah, I got those. They're supposed to be flat response. We'll see if it works. I think it's minus negative. That'd be positive. It'd be it's those minus negative earplugs don't work. They're loud. They're too loud.
They amplify everything.
Exactly. But they're like negative 19 dB, I think. And it's like I said, it's supposed to be flat response according to your ears, because like your ears hear, as you turn volume up, your ears hear things differently. So like I think it's upper, mids, and highs. You actually will hear a little bit less as the volume goes up. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm trying to think of the graph in my mind. And so these erasers, they kind of compensate for that. So like as the volume goes up, I guess it kind of changes something. And it's supposed to be like a flat response. So just minus 19 dB. We'll give it a try. I'll let you know.
I was just thinking about, speaking of last minute, I was just thinking about trying to find some, because I want to get some for NAMM specifically, and then also for like concerts and stuff. Right. I hate to be the old man at the concert with the earplugs, but I also want to be able to hear for, as long as I possibly can. So,
no, I totally get it. When I played the gig at New Year's, I played with earplugs in.
I actually just got some.
And I did look as nerdy as you could possibly think too. I mean, they were decent. They were actually good ones, but it's just because I was telling one of the guys in the band, he's like, "Why do you have earplugs in?" I said, "Because my ears is my living, and if I lose them, I don't know what I'm going to do for a living."
You can't even podcast.
Exactly.
Oh man.
What am I going to podcast about? On today's episode, we talk about the newest hearing aids. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Ears are important. Everybody take care of their ears. I think I am prone to hearing loss in my family. Both my grandpa and my dad both have some hearing loss, and I want to try to avoid that as long as possible. So yeah, I'm in the market for some good earplugs that not just good in the way that they block sound, but in the way that they block sound but doesn't ruin the sound also.
Right. Because that's the problem with like the foam ones. The foam earplugs, it's like a huge low pass filter. You know what I mean? Where it's just real boomy and it doesn't sound anything like what it should sound like. Now it's better than nothing. So, I would say that if you don't have anything else, at least use those. Right. But this NAMM is one of those things that, as you know, just extremely loud for 4 days, and if you don't wear earplugs, you will have serious tinnitus.
Yep, I can speak from experience because I didn't have earplugs last time, and it was not good. So
wow.
I didn't have hand sanitizer, and I didn't have earplugs. I was a NAMM novice. I didn't know what I was doing. So
I'm sure there's a guide online about what to bring if you're going to NAMM for the first time. If there's not, easy for me to say. There's a good blog topic for you right there.
Yeah, or for you,
or for me. Sure, we could do that
both
too.
Both of us.
You write it first. I'll just steal yours.
Okay, that's fine. Backlink, please.
So
right on.
And are you at NAMM this year?
Of course I am.
You are at NAMM. Okay.
You know this already.
I've forgotten. One of the things I'm bad at is memory. I have a very bad memory.
This is true. I can attest to this.
Just being honest.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on it last time. That was our last episode we recorded was NAMM.
It was about, how to survive NAMM. This is more about speakers, and we just turned it into NAMM.
Speakers and ears and earplugs and NAMM and nonsense. But that's what we do best. NAMM and nonsense. Welcome to the NAMM and Nonsense podcast. Blake and Brian. I'll be there. I'll be coming by your booth and stealing all your hand sanny. So there you go.
We'll be the one with the keg. Looks like, I think we talked about this last time. It's the size of a keg with the dispenser on it, and it's all sanitizer. That's all it is.
It's got a tap handle and everything that comes out.
It's got everybody's doing keg stands, not to drink, but to get their hands washed.
Yes, not a bad idea. But yes, I'll see you and anybody who wants to come to NAMM. I suppose this is a good place to talk about this. If you don't mind me doing a little pluggly wuggly real quick.
I have to charge you advertising. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
No, man. Good.
So for any listeners to this podcast that maybe don't listen to mine or are not in my Facebook group, the fine folks over at Sinusoid, they make guitar cable. Well, they make any kind of cable that you could want pretty much. They're based up in Washington. They are sponsoring a Tone Mob pizza party at NAMM. So for anybody,
is that like a toga party?
It's just exactly like a toga party without togas.
But do you have pizza, right?
We got pizza though. We got pizza. So we're still trying to get the exact location where we're going to be, but those guys are awesome and they're ordering a bunch of pizza. So look me up at NAMM. If you're not in the Facebook group, the Tone Mob Facebook group, that's where I'll be putting all the details. But yes, there will be a Tone Mob pizza party at NAMM. Come by, say hi, eat pizza, and then go buy Sinusoid cables. So there you go.
What night is that?
It'll actually be a lunch thing. So it'll be Friday around lunchtime.
A pizza party, and it's at NAMM? Or it's off-site?
We're thinking about doing it out in the grass out front.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Unless it's raining.
Unless it's raining. It's kind of up in the air, but all the information will be in the Facebook group. So that's where you go if you really want to come eat pizza with me. And actually, there's 30 people coming at this point. So
are you going to live stream this too?
I might live stream a little bit of it. Who knows? Why not?
I watched your live stream earlier. It's
you
fascinating.
did. That's why we're having a podcast right now. The live stream where I was injecting a pork roast with beer.
Yes, because that's what everyone should do on a tone group is cook their what was that? Prime rib or
it's pork rib. Pork shoulder roast.
Yeah, so I mean, the perfect place. I was thinking about doing a live stream on our YouTube group, our Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And I thought about doing it more around, what shoes I'm into,
Yeah. Why not?
Sneakers, because I like my sneakers.
Yeah, you're a New Balance man, right?
No, I'm actually a Nike man.
Oh, you're a Nike man. All right.
Yeah, I'm a Nike man.
Right on.
Generally, the running shoes are my favorites. And I like to put different insoles in them because you got to. I go boutique with shoes,
Of course.
So.
What size are you?
I don't know. 10. I'm a 10. Yeah.
You're 10?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, dude. Yep.
10. Wow.
That's what my wife says. She's like, as far as husbands go, you're a 10 out of 10.
No, she doesn't.
I know, it's more like 10 out of 100.
You liar. Don't stop spreading lies. Don't put words in Amanda's mouth.
I like to believe it, though.
I believe it. Oh, boy. I don't even know if we can right this ship or not, or if it's just completely off course.
It just is what it is. You know what? What are we into? We're like 140 episodes now or something like that?
Something to that effect.
I'm pretty sure people have figured out how we roll. And it's kind of like... it kind of rolls everywhere. It's like if you put a ball on top of a hill, you never know which way it's going to roll down. You know what I mean?
That's right. It could go any way, except up. Just kind of like we can talk about anything except the topic.
Exactly. So, but I have had a lot of people and people that stop by NAMM really and say they like the podcast, and I've had a lot of email lately. People say they enjoy our banter, and they do sometimes mention they like it when we stay on topic, and then I apologize and say I'm sorry. It's probably not the right podcast for you. No, you might want to listen to Tone Mob or 60 Cycle Hum or something.
Don't listen to either of those if you like topics to be stayed on. Yes.
But, it is what it is.
Yeah. I enjoy it. Is if that makes a difference to anybody else, I enjoy it.
Well, me too. I mean, I've said for a long time, if it stops being fun, I'm going to stop doing it. Mm-hmm. So why do something you hate? That's why I didn't go to college. Why do something you hate?
No kidding.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm not smoking up like vegetables right now. I'm smoking up a pork roast. Why eat something you hate?
Right. And why eat something that's good for you and is going to be better for your body? No. Just eat put some Cheetos all over it, rub some Cheeto dust on top of it.
Oh yeah, you got to get that's what I did. I did a Cheetos dust dry rub on this one.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real good for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think that's about as far as we can take this topic.
I think you're right. We've wrung it out for all it's worth. There's no saving it at this point.
All right, so I don't know. Maybe we'll do a podcast at NAMM. I don't know if we're going to do one or not. I may do another tone tips if I have time to get us through the week. I've got a ton of tone tip stuff coming up.
Nice.
Have you listened to any of the tone tips?
I listened to the very first one, and now I've forgotten what it was.
Are you serious? Do you know how much that hurts my feelings?
I'm sorry. Brian.
Do you know I'm sensitive? I do those for you.
Just for me?
Just for you.
Why do you do them for me?
I'm trying to impress you, Blake.
Oh, well, right. Every time I plug into my Velvet Fuzz, I'm impressed by you.
It's not me playing, that's you playing.
Oh, no. I'm not impressed by the playing. We have to stop. Or we're gonna lose all of our listeners.
Okay. All right. So
unless you have a very valid point to make.
No, that's it. I got nothing. All right, man. All right. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
So thanks so much for listening to the Chasing Tone podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I know it kind of went off track a little more than normal, but there's a lot going on right now, and just super excited, super pumped up, ready for NAMM, ready to go. If you have any comments or questions, please email podcast@wamplerpedals.com. You can also email Blake at info@tonemob.com. Check out our groups on Facebook as well. We both have groups. You have the Tone Mob group and you have the Wampler Pedals group as well. And we'll talk to you next week. And I'm trying to do a tone tips. If I don't, my apologies. We'll be right back as soon as we can, though. So thanks for listening.